Hey guys, how's it going? The next video I wanted us to watch, the next part about factoring we're going to go over is factoring trinomials when that leading coefficient is 1. All right, so you'll notice there's, seven problems here on your screen right now, and each one of those problems has 3 terms, right? They're trinomials. They have a term that's to the x squared power, they have an x, and then they have a constant. Each one of the terms is given in descending order. Okay, sorry. I paused there because I thought the video got messed up. But each one of the terms is in descending order, and how we have to go about solving for this, or factoring, I should say, is asking ourselves first, what factors of the constant, all right, could somehow give us when we add them or subtract them, when we combine them, can somehow give us that middle term, right? So here, our constant is 15. And there's factors of 15 include 1 and 15 and 5 and 3, right? Those are the factors. Those are numbers that multiply to get us 15. Well, which set of those could add or subtract to give us the 8 that we need, right? And it's this one right here. It's 5 and 3. Now, you might remember how to write this, right? How to factor it. It's going to be 2 parentheses. Each parenthesis begins with x. All right, and both those factors are going to go here. Now, the signs are always something that students struggle with. Well, how can we get a negative 8, right? Well, both of these signs here would have to be negative. Right? We've now taken this trinomial and factored it into 2 binomials. Binomials, 2 terms here that when multiplied together, when FOILed out, would give us what we started with. And you can always check your work. You can multiply the -3 and the -5, and in doing so, you should get positive 15. When you add them together, or you think about just combining those terms, you would get -8. As we do this next problem, one thing I failed to mention was the first thing you should always ask yourself is there a GCF? Is there something common in each one of these terms? The answer is no, there's not, right? There's nothing common. So now we're told to factor, and we begin that by thinking of factors of this last term, right? And you could write them down, but ideally you just want to think about them in your head. You want to think about numbers like 5 and 4, or 10 and 2, or 20 and 1. Factors, numbers that multiplied together would give us 20. Well, of those numbers, which set could somehow give us -12 when we combine them, right? When we add or subtract them. So again, it's going to be 2 parentheses. And the factors that are going to give me 12 are going to be 10 and 2. And just like in the last problem, both of these are going to be negative, right? And it works because if both are negative, well, 2 negatives when multiplied together give us a positive. When I add or I combine these together, -10 and -2, I'll get -12. So therefore, we have factored correctly. Look at the next problem, all right? The next problem we have 20. So we're again thinking of the same factors, right? 10 and 2, 5 and 4, 20 and 1. Only one set of those could somehow give us a positive 1, right? The factors of 5 and 4 can make that work. So again, in our set of parentheses, we'll put x and 5. We'll put x and 4. And in the last problems that we did, it's always easier when this final sign here is positive. It's easier to determine the factors, the signs of the factors, because they're both parentheses, both factors take the sign of this term. So when the last sign's positive, the signs in the parentheses are the same, and they're whatever this sign was. When the last sign is negative, like we have here in B, the signs inside our parentheses are going to be different. The reason why 5 is going to be positive and 4 is going to be negative is because when we add 5 and 4 together, or negative 4 together, right? 5 minus 4, that's how we get plus 1x. Together, when you multiply 5 and negative 4, you get negative 20. But assigning the correct signs is significant for this middle term. Think about foiling, right? If I distribute or I multiply those two parentheses back out, I'm going to get x squared. I'm going to get 5x minus 4x, which in our heads we'll just think of it as plus x. And I'm going to get negative 20, right? So factoring is kind of working backwards in terms of, well, now you're given the final product. What numbers multiplied to get there? All right, so it's kind of a little different than what we've done the past few weeks. In C, again, look at the last term, right? There's no GCF. Got ahead of myself. Again, no GCF. There's no GCF with any one of these 6 problems down here in the bottom. So we can just, there's nothing we're going to factor out. We're just thinking of factors of 18. So again, if you prefer, write them on the side to keep organized, that's fine. There's only one set of those numbers that could somehow give us a negative 9, right? Because 9 and 2 is not going to do it. 9 and 2 would give me 11, or it could give me 7, right? But 6 and 3, when they're both negative, will add or will combine to negative 9. And again, when the last sign's positive, both of our factors will take the sign of this term. All right, let's do one more here. Factors of 40 that could give us 6. All right, so start thinking about it. I'm just going to set us up. So hopefully right now in your heads you've thought about 8 and 5, 10 and 4, 20 and 2. Okay. And which set of those factors can possibly give us positive 6? Now remember, when the last sign here is negative, your signs in the parentheses are going to be different. All right, it does matter where we put the correct number because now we've assigned the signs to it. So 10 and 4 could possibly give me 6, right? But it's a positive 6. So where's the 10 going to go? Well, it's got to go here. This would be the negative. And think about it, right? If you were to FOIL, if you were to just do the O and the I terms, right? The outer and the inner, that's what makes up that middle term, right? 10x minus 4x, 6x. All right. So hopefully this video helped. When we're watching this, we should be watching it, I guess, Monday or sometime early next week together in class. I'll post. You'll have this whole packet posted for you. You could either print it out or you can just kind of keep it on your screen and work in your notebook. Either one works. All right, guys. Thanks for being attentive. Hopefully you took some notes. Hopefully you remember this from Algebra 1. Again, this is really important. It does get harder because we're going to start, after we work on this, we are going to start putting numbers in here that are not 1. All right, and that makes it a little more challenging. But I'm not going to show you any tricks like slide and divide or anything like that. The method we're going to use, for lack of a better term, is just called guess and check, meaning in your head, you're going to think of numbers and then think to see if they're going to work. All right, so like factors of 40, that could work. So what I mean by guess and check, that's write down the factors or think about them in your head and find which one is going to be the one that actually works out. All right, guys. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.